Everybody. Welcome to another review of the haves and the have-nots. I'm really late with this because I got so caught up with the holiday last week with Christmas that I didn't get to watch the show until today. And I thought, okay, well, I'll do my review, so I'll be ready to review the this week's episode. And I hope everybody had a good Christmas. It's a different way of celebrating now, with the pandemic, and I hope everybody stayed safe and celebrated safely and had a good time. Fortunately, I got to spend Christmas with my family because, I'm in the same household and with some of my family, and it was good. We exchanged gifts and cooked and all that, and it was really good. So I hope everybody else had a good Christmas like I did. So let's get into the show. So Jim, he was in Hannah's bedroom, and Hannah, she told him, "Well, I see that ass whooping Benny gave you didn't teach you anything." And Jim's like, "Benny's not here right now." And Hannah, she kept her cool. She listened to everything he had to say. He was threatening her, like, "Well, if something happens to you, that power of attorney is useless to you." Hannah comes back and says, "Well, I have everything set up to go to my children." And he's like, "You don't have anything. All of that is Catherine's money." And but Hannah just sticks to what she's saying. So clearly Hannah is prepared for if Jim, you know, sets her up for something for her to get hurt or whatever. So she's ready. She's not playing, this is 8 years of mess just built up, and Hannah just does not give a care anymore. She's ready to go hard like everybody else. And he keeps going on and on and on about all of this. Jim just talks about a bunch of mess. And so Hannah, she tells him, "You get out of here, and if you ever come back and if you ever try this again, I'm going to blow your brains out. And unlike your son, I won't miss. And I'm going to use real bullets." And Jim just seems to underestimate Hannah. Yeah, he got himself out of there, but he still seems to underestimate her. And Hannah, she's going. I think before this series is out, she's gonna take somebody out. She's gonna take somebody out. It might be Jim. It might be Veronica. It might be Derek. Who knows? So Jim, he gets on the phone to not his financial advisor, but one of Catherine's financial advisors, whatever they are, accountants, something like that. And he's saying, "Well, I need a loan for $500,000, and you're going to get Hannah to give it to me." And the guy he tells the guy, "Well, you remember that guy's estate, somebody Lewis's estate. You remember what happened then? I will take you down." So the guy says, "Okay, I'll try to get Hannah to do that." So the guy goes over there. He tries to get Hannah to sign the papers, and she's like, "Well, I need to talk to Catherine about this." And he's like, "Well, when will that be?" And she's like, "When I talk to her." And the guy, she opened the door for him, and he just walked in. He said, "Can I come in?" While he was walking in, and she's like, "Don't you ever do that again. Don't just walk in here." And she went after he was gone. She's like, "He's lost his damn mind." Okay, let me think about what else happened. So let me just talk about the White House. So, what's his name? Oliver. He's on the phone with Gretchen. Wait, no, he wasn't on the phone with Gretchen. Landon was trying to get through to the president. And Oliver wouldn't put him on the phone. And then the president came out and was like, "Is that Landon? Let me talk to him." Um, and of course, it's the same old thing. Candace doesn't want to talk to you. It's basically the same story with Charles. It's like it goes round and around, like, "Oh, I want to talk to Candace." "Oh, well, she doesn't want to talk to you," and all that. It's the same thing. And so Charles gives Oliver his phone back, and he's like, "Why is your phone sticky?" And Oliver's like, "Oh, candy." And I'm thinking, how do you get your? I mean, you have to be real sloppy to get your phone sticky from candy. I mean, you're not gonna wash your hands after you eat the candy and then or sanitize them or something. And his phone's gonna be sticky. I'm thinking it was sticky for some other reason, and like that's nasty. That that. So anyway, he goes in. The president goes in, and he gets, he takes off most of his clothes, and I'm like, in all of these Tyler Perry shows, somebody's got to disrobe in some manner or to some degree. So he's getting a massage, and this masseuse, she was talking a whole lot, and she was asking about Candace, and she was saying this and that, and it was like, what are you up to? She seemed real suspect, and then she's rubbing on his leg and telling me what this muscle leads right to the groin. And she was acting like she does more than massages, like escort. That's the vibe that she was giving. And I'm like, and it didn't seem like anything was clicking for Charles. He's talking. And she said, "Well, I don't I just talk to some of my clients. I don't go and, around and, talk to everybody or whatever. I just talk to them on the table, the clients on the table." And Charles didn't seem to be picking up on anything, that this was suspect, that she was, talking too much and asking too many questions. He wasn't picking up on it. So anyway, let me get to Oliver and Gretchen. So basically, Oliver had to tell Gretchen, the president doesn't want to see you. And he had told her that before, and she still insisted, "No, I'm going to come over." And she came over there, and it's like, you know what? He just does not want to see you. And so I guess that didn't pan out. She's going to hook up with Oliver. Um, the whole White House scene is just a mess to me. It's very repetitive, and at this point, it's pointless. I mean, just move on from it. Move the storyline along and add some action, or just move on from it. So anyway, let's talk about Candace. Benny, he is constantly in Hannah or Candace's business. Now, before Candace came to the table, Mitch was like saying that he liked Candace, and Benny's like, "You let me find out you're crushing on my sister. You let me find out." And I'm like, "What business is that of yours? Why is that?" He just doesn't he seems to not want, Candace or Hannah to have any sort of a personal life, um, or have a significant other or anything. He just doesn't like that. And so when Candace gets to the table, he's trying to figure out if her and Mitch were involved, and it's like, they're like, no, no, we're not. And it basically comes around to Candace is saying that Benny is slow, and or she said he was not too bright, and he's like, "I'm not slow." And I'm like, "Benny, you said it. And Benny's just, he's not bright." And he just does not want Mitch liking Candace, or Candace being involved with Mitch or whatever. So after that scene, they end up talking to Landon, and Landon is still pressing, and Mitch just does not like him um pressing Candace like that. He's like, "You need to leave her alone." So they end up talking alone, and he's like, "You know what? You need to uh leave Candace alone. And Landon is fishing, trying to find out, are you dating or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Mitch is like, he just basically says, it's none of your business. And that's basically the gist of what he was saying. And then, Landon is so thirsty. Yeah, he ends up he's saying, "Well, I hope this doesn't offend you, but you're very attractive and all of that." And Mitch is like, "Why would that offend me? I'm gonna be 60 and wrinkly someday. I'm gonna take the compliment." And then Landon asks him if he wants a drink, and um, Mitch says, "Yeah, I'll do that. We'll go to the bar and have a drink." And then Landon's all, "Oh, wait a minute, this seems like a setup." And I'm like, it. Mitch does seem like he's up to something because he knows that Landon is not going to leave Candace alone. So it's like he's, scheming. I don't know what his plan is for Landon, but he seemed to be up to something. And Landon was like, "Wait a minute, what?" And so they go on downstairs to have a drink. So what else happened? Oh, okay. So there's Veronica and her mess. So she has Tanner over there, and she wants him to go after Colby. And he's like, "All right." And I'm like, he's going to do it, and there's really nothing in it for Tanner. And I thought Veronica was going to hit on Tanner, but I guess he's not her type. Come to think of it, I don't think well, except well, no, the mercenary is white, but he is like a, yeah, like Eastern European or something like that. So maybe she sees that differently. I don't really think she's, you know, tried to go after any white men in the show. And we do know that she messed around with that judge, but that was for business reasons, and she was just like, ugh. So I guess Tanner was not her type. I don't think that, yeah. So she didn't hit on him, and I was surprised at that because she's hit on practically every man that she's called over there. So, and he's under the impression that Justin was not gay until he met Jeffrey. So Veronica gives him a folder. She says, "Well, these are all the men that your brother assaulted in his patrol car. Some of them are your informants." And so he's outraged and he goes over there and starts beating up Justin. And again, I think I've said it in other reviews. I mean, this just makes no sense. Justin is an adult. He can hold his own. He's bulkier than Tanner. So he could take Tanner very easily. Justin, when it came to Jeffrey, he had all these guns, pointing them at himself, pointing them at Jeffrey, and all that. And now he's not doing any of this when, he really should be trying to defend himself, but he's not doing it. He's just letting Tanner beat him down. And it's ridiculous. Okay, and then I almost forgot. Okay, so Catherine had a scene in the jail, and she said she's gonna help this. She said again, she's saying she's gonna help this girl that's trying to get her children. Um, and the public defender comes in and he tells the girl, "Well, I wasn't able to get you bail. Or I'm working on it, or whatever." And Catherine basically just says, "You're fired." She looks at him and says, "You're fired. I'm getting her private representation." The girl's like, "Well, I can't afford that." And Catherine's like, "I got it. I got it." Okay. So I hope I got everything. If I missed something, I'm sorry about that. But I tried to get everything. And wait, and there was a little scene with Benny and Candace, and he was talking about the real estate agent and all that. And um, and trying to connect with her. And we know that Benny's going to end up on in the Malone's crosshairs again for that. Sandy is nuts, and that was his girlfriend, and all of that. But anyway, let me just talk about the preview a little bit. So, David will do anything that Jim tells him to do. And so, David is going to try to sleep with Hanna. And I'm like, and Hannah's looking at him like, because he's saying, um, I'm attracted to you or something like that. And Hannah's looking like, uh-huh. And I'm like, Hannah is not the type that's just gonna sleep with a man. Because, we saw earlier in an earlier season, that girl that Wyatt ran over, his grandfather, um, well, he almost did get Hannah into bed, but Benny broke that up. And then, before the truth was revealed about Derek, he tried to get her into bed. She didn't do it. And I'm like, Hannah's not going to do it. She's not going to do it. And I'm like, so David is basically going to prostitute himself out for Jim. Or I should say, try to, because Hannah's not going to go for it. But I've gone on long enough. Thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye.